actually just a phenomenal actor.
Thank you.
Which I knew you were going to sell that well, but we can jump right into game number 1, eUnited versus LG. Silly, somebody who would say, you know, potentially could be the weak link for eUnited, playing quite well. See how he plays in this series.
Ooh, well, Clayster with the sniper. The crowd's loving it here. The fan favorite now on eUnited. It's LG off to the early break, and, well, Saints is getting aggressive, pushing them. Cut down again. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for the sniper, I would assume, from Clayster in this map. Retaliation Hardpoint, though. eUnited on the main stage so far, are playing since stage 2 and on, have yet to wind up dropping more than just one hardpoint on Retaliation. They have an 80% win rate. On the other side of things, though, LG from Dallas and on, they've played this map 18 times. They've only lost 5 times. A very strong game mode for both teams.
And Octane shooting well at the beginning, goes on a 4 streak, finally falls, but this is a map that plays into both teams' strengths, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
I know both teams have very good long-range NV4 players. You know, Pristini, he's a very talented SMG guy, going to get in the opponent's face, and he's definitely a SMG who can contend with those NV4 players at range. It'll be Luminosity with early control here, up 28 and counting to 17. LG inside of the hill, kills going in their favor here. It's Silly, you know, just picked up his first 2 kills, but I think he is such an important piece to this team in this matchup. He needs to play well, because if Octane is going to start shooting well, you know, Classic has been very good over the last few events. LG is going to be a very tough team to beat.
Most certainly, and right now, these two teams could not be more neck and neck. Clayster, as well as Octane, 2 of the best NV4s in competitive Call of Duty. Similar stat lines right now, both with 5 kills. Clayster with 1 extra death. We talk about rotations towards Money Hills. This next one is going to be key. The move towards Cathedral should be in favor of LG. And again, you talk about when Octane's heating up, his shot looks great right now, man.
Does he have the best shot in the game? When you just watch him, like,
I talked to Clayster about this.
Yes.
And Clayster says from mid-range, anything close to mid-range, he thinks he wins, meaning Clay. Long range, mid to long range and on, he thinks it's all Octane. Octane's one of the players that he actually backs down from, knows he's just got a better shot, and you're seeing it a little bit early on in this map.
yeah, I think you would take well, that's an interesting battle there. Clay is able to melee on a Classic. Silly comes in, breaks the hill, but I think you would definitely throw Formal in that conversation. But I think at range, like when with an NV4 in their hand, I think Octane just the straightest, most consistent shot.
Well, this is the map that he'll show it off on. Retaliation, these long sight lines. The lead for Luminosity, which was up to 20 seconds, now cut down to just 5. United currently in the hard point. Clayster watching over his teammate and Silly. Unfortunately, Classic gets a great angle there, and 4 quick shots in succession give him the kill. Clayster and Pristini, though. Pristini, Matt, is he your breakout player now in IW? Because there's been an argument, really, the 3 that stand out are Gunless, who was on this United team, Arcitys, and Pristini. And Arcitys, I would say mid-year, Gunless off the break, and now towards the end, Pristini's making a hell of a case.
Yeah, I think overall you would probably say Gunless, but I think the second half of the year, though, once Gunless leaves this roster and they bring in Clay, Pristini has really started to heat up. And you know, he's that second guy. I mean, you get Clayster, you bring him in, you know what he's going to contribute to the team. Pristini's that next guy. He's kind of like his attach from when they won the Call of Duty Championship back in Advanced Warfare. You know, Clay's going to be that long-range NV4 player, the AR staple on this roster. Pristini's going to be that fast, aggressive player in your face.
And he's been getting more and more praise from the rest of the competitive Call of Duty scene, from the other pro players, saying that Pristini fills a role that almost nobody does right now in competitive COD. He's the first into the fray, and the fact that most times he's ending games at either dead, even, or positive shows just how impressive he is of a player. eUnited with 60 straight uncontested points, now up by 40, as they've showed a great strength to their gameplay, their ability to rotate from one side of the map to the other while keeping control.
Yeah, they just play so smart and consistent, and you knew that was going to happen when Clay joins this team. They did the same with Gunless, but it's a little bit different, right? Everybody playing at such a fast pace. Now they're so versatile where they can slow the game down, they can rotate early, they can play fast. eUnited's hardpoint game looks very good, and I know you talk about breakout players, right? I had a dinner with Eggs and Attached, the other day. And one of the things we talked about is, okay, who in this game do you think is going to go on and still have a superstar career? Instantly, everybody's answer, Arcitys. They think Arcitys is that guy that's just going to develop into this monster talent down the road. He's already a very talented player as well.
And very well liked by members of the community, building quite the fan base for himself. eUnited's lead now down to just 20 as LG are fighting back. We've been talking a lot about eUnited. Gotta show some love to this man on your screen. Saints, who has turned it around from being a questionable decision to have this team form earlier in the year. People were wondering, was it the right play? They weren't getting those top placings, but then they found their groove. They didn't panic. Saints has developed into quite the star again in competitive Call of Duty, and he's been one of the more consistent players as of late on this team, man. Yeah,
it's never been a skill thing with Saints, right? He's always brought it. You see there, he earns himself the Trinity Rockets. Those are going to be big over by Cathedral when we get to it next, but it's really, he added a lot of firepower to this team. You expected that. At the beginning of the year, he was up and down, but he doesn't really kind of serve the hole that a lot of people thought. Like, they needed a guy who was just going to be able to dominate S&D and get everybody on the right track. He brings the firepower and Respawn. That is why this team is so talented with the 4 players they have in Respawn.
Oh, and look at this.
Search and destroy, they need him to step up, though.
Look at this from Clayster. He's stuck all the way behind. Can't win the first gunfight, though. Saints sniffs it out. And just like that, LG will keep control of the hard point. The score again, 121 to 121. LG have tied up the game and have now taken the lead.
We'll see how eUnited reacts to this, Jack. I imagine they rotate down towards that lower street. They know how important that Cathedral is, and I wonder if they actually know that Saints has streaks, because Saints does have that Trinity Rocket. We'll see. If
no, he used it. He used it on that last hill.
Oh, yeah.
When we were mid-conversation, he used it to break once. That's why Clayster tried that pinch, because they 3-stacked Hotel.
Why would you use it there when you have Cathedral coming up? Like, it's just a really odd use.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just kind of blanked out because I was like, well, you never use. Why would you use a Trinity Rocket?
Sense.
Yeah, when you have one of them to use, when you need it to break over by Cathedral.
It's a great point.
You would love to probably have that streak later in the game.
Well, we'll see if it comes back to bite him. LG keeping this game close. A 10-second difference between these teams. Silly, we gave him praise earlier on. His numbers continue to improve, and when it's shots like that, it doesn't surprise you. Now at a 1.5 KD this map, leading his team in total kills. eUnited narrowly holding on, but look at the kill feed. It's all blue, and with only 10 seconds left, that could spell disaster. eUnited now spawning as far as possible away from this new hard point. This now is LG's chance to blow up in this game, Matt.
Oh, without a doubt. So we'll see how eUnited goes about trying to break in here. Classic from Plat with 1. Spots another.
God.
Those are 2 big kills. Octane with another. Saints with the Scarab kill on a Clayster. That is all 4 down for eUnited. You see they're spawning all the way on the opposite side of the map across that bridge. It's so difficult to get across there safely, try and break into this hill.
And look at the thorn in the side. That is Octane. Flanks behind all 4. Gets 2 before taking a dip, but either way, the damage has been done. A 40-second swing. Clayster now trying to surge on through. He's cut down. Classic, the only hope for LG. He's finally got teammates backing him up. The man stays alive. LG hold another push, a full 60, and when I talked about blowing open the game, Matt, they did just that.
You control this hill, Jack. Most likely you win the game. So now eUnited, they're forced to rotate over towards Broken. See, 3 of their members are there, but it's so important they get this initial wave of kills. If they don't, LG gets into the hill. They could potentially close this game out, and Octane picks up a big first kill here. Let's see, he's gonna wait for his teammates. Such a smart play, get everybody here, then try and flood the front of the hill.
Octane just trying to stay alive now. He'll be the first one to charge on through. Buying time for his teammates to follow him up. A quick trade there from Classic. Almost snaps out of Clayster for the second. All things considered, eUnited should hold on to this hill. Slack is still somehow alive. There you go, finally Clayster cleans him up. 202 to 160, 30 seconds left in this hard point. I'll go out and say it, eUnited need to lock this down for the full time.
Yeah, they need a lot of time here. Then they need to split at that hotel hallway. Maybe if Clay can start getting closer towards that Trinity Rocket or a bombardment, you would love that going into Bridge. Because Bridge at the end of the game, Jack, how many times do we see one team that streaks, the other doesn't?
Yep.
The team with streaks always wins that game. 3 quick kills coming in from Luminosity. They'll take the last 10 seconds here on Broken.
And look at the big thing. Nobody on eUnited with a payload. 2 now earned for LG. One of them being active camo, the other being reactive armor, the 2 best you can ask for, and that could be the difference maker on this hotel hardpoint. LG within 35 seconds of taking map number 1.
This is such a huge series for Pristini and Arcides, right? I mean, they qualify for champs last year with Apotheon Esports. They don't really do much. Coming in, obviously they've been in some grand finals before, but playing on this stage is a whole nother beast, especially when you're going up against a team like Luminosity, who is so talented. Right now, eUnited, though, trying to make the comeback. They need Pristini and Arcides to go big here.
Yeah, I was about to say, Arcides needs to go huge from this position. Can't give away exactly where he is yet. Spots 1, lets him run by. I actually don't mind this at all because he can try to flank on in. Can't get the second. 224 to 199. eUnited keeping this close. A great two-piece from Clayster. They've got to clear out this hard point. Pristini trying to charge on in. There goes Octane. All things considered, they do their best to split this time, but still active camo ready to go for the side of LG.
Yeah, they've kept it close enough, though, for eUnited to make this a game where they potentially could come back. The way they do it,
Centurion down.
The Centurion goes down here, so they start taking some time here, right? And then let's say LG, they know they have to flood into the hill. Everyone always forgets you have to rotate to that lower market. But it's going to be 3 kills for Luminosity, as now eUnited may get one more crack at this.
You see why the Trinity Rocket is so big. Arcides had the right idea. He tried to sit near that Centurion to soak those shots. Clayster dead with reactive armor. One final desperation push from eUnited, but the wall is being held from LG. Arcides did what he could, but it's not enough. GG. Luminosity take map number 1 over eUnited.
Jack, in that game number 1, you saw the slaying power come out from LG.
Absolutely.
You know, eUnited, it's going to be a very tough team, you know, for them to go up against in respawn game modes, because you would favor eUnited about just about anybody in terms of slaying, right? Except probably Optic Gaming in this LG lineup. You would, you know, even with FaZe, you'd say it's a toss-up, right?
Yep.
I think this is just a really difficult, just kind of head-to-head matchup here between these two teams. It's like you have like the strats and just like the brains and the smarts for eUnited, and then like on the side of LG, it's just all strength and muscle. It's just going up against them.
Wow, crazy first map, 35 seconds separating the two teams. You saw moments of brilliance from both, but LG just more consistent through and through.
Yes.
They wind up getting that big lead on Cathedral, and that's enough to push them on through to that map 1 victory. I will say though, for LG, even though that's a great map 1 win, I think that does even more for their confidence, because they were shook yesterday in Hardpoint. When they faced Vitality, they only won both Hardpoint maps by a total of like 50 seconds between the two, which they should be smoking that team.
But did it feel like, for you, at least for me, I'll kind of tell you just kind of when I'm watching the game, what I think of is that that was a game where LG was just kind of coasting on through. Like, you know, at every time we were like, okay, eUnited's got to pick up some kills, and it seemed like LG knew, like, we can get a 4 dead whenever we feel like. We can rotate early, get a hold. We can rotate late. We know we're going to break them.
The last bridge, right?
It just seemed like a team playing with so much confidence that they knew they were just going to be able to outgun eUnited, and eUnited was going to be able to do nothing about it.
Absolutely, and it showed there, as I said, on that final hill on bridge, they just call on the Trinity, they push on through. Again, welcome to the Call of Duty World League Championship presented by PS4. This is the biggest and grandest stage of them all in competitive Call of Duty. And hell, it's physically the biggest and grandest ever. Look, we have 4 teams on the main stage, everybody getting shown some love. You can watch in the venue on the Alpha and Bravo screens from wherever you are. When you're at home, you've obviously got 2 streams you can open on up. There's a look at Arcides and eUnited. They now have to bounce back after a rough map 1 loss to the likes of LG.
And the 2 matches we got going on are going to be your final winner bracket 1 matchups. So we'll have everybody, you know, all the matchups set for winners round 2. And then unfortunately for you losers, you got to play again. You know, some of you guys are going to have to play again a little bit later. Now, I know those loser round 1 matches are going to be intense. Nobody wants to go home that early.
What do we end up with today? Our top 12 by the end of today. We start today with 16, and I think we drop down to 12 remaining. We'll get confirmation.
Yes, you will. Sense. You will have 12.
Yes.
You will have 12.
So by the end of today, we'll know 4 more teams eliminated. Again, we started with 32 back on Wednesday. At the end of today's matches, we'll be down to just our top 12 in the world.
It's crazy that it's such a long event, right? Like, we've never had this for champs. It's just a grind for these players. You got to play consistent throughout all the days. I can't wait to see what shape the team that wins is in on Sunday. Like, after they win, they're just going to be so spent.
Yep.
Such a grind you got to get through. I think this may be, you know, the most competitive champs that we've ever had. I would definitely throw Black Ops 2 out of the equation. I played there. I don't think
that's saying a lot.
I brought down the competitive aspect of that.
You qualified through by playing an obscene amount of hours in the online ranked playlist. But here we go. It's game number 2, LG versus eUnited. LG up 1-0. But this is where eUnited should be able to take back this series.
You'd think.
Search and destroy. You'd think, right?
You'd think. This has been kind of the thorn in LG's side throughout the year, their search and destroy play. And you see why. They get first blood, and then they just charge on in, and they just give up 2 easy kills. But Clay takes out 1, slacked here, the 1v2. He will fall. eUnited will take round number 1.
So look at the difference there. First blood for LG, then immediately after that, It's just an overly aggressive play towards L-Wall, a quick bait and switch by the side of eUnited. Shortly after, you wind up seeing every single player pop out from eUnited, stick near their teammates, play for quick trades. Doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah, and coming into this one, since this roster has formed for eUnited, they are 100% win rate on this one, 3-0. So eUnited, one of their better search and destroy maps here.
Well, eUnited up 1-0. Again, LG, that sums up their search and destroy play this year. Wow, great shots from Clayster. We're sitting there praising Octane for his long-range AR, and then the first round, Clayster starts hovering in the air and just beams him from across the map.
It's a good first pick there for eUnited, but look at this, Slacked. Able to get one. And just the pressure of him being here, just the threat of him in that position, just throws eUnited off a little bit. They have to just stall Clay, though, with a big kill there on a classic.
Clay with the ace.
Just like that, we are down to just Slacked here for LG.
Clayster working on the ace, Slacked in the 1 versus 3. He was out in no man's land that entire time. As now, this round looks basically unwinnable, and if he does rotate back here, he'll actually peek the Clayster side, which could very well mean the ace here in just a couple moments.
You don't want to give somebody an ace, well, just in general, but then also, I believe that's Clay in the final kill cam. He will get the ace there in round number 2. eUnited got 2-0. But now you start getting Clay closer to streaks, closer to payload abilities. It's not what you want.
No, and you see Clayster does not miss a shot. The man is on point right now. He's looked better. I would say Clayster's looked better in the last 2 months than we've seen from him since he won AW Champs.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Right?
I can agree with that. Just tried to think for a second.
I mean,
but I agree. I think
did
he's
Clayster play in Black Ops 3?
He did. That's messed up, Jack. But I would agree with you. I think he needed something to kind of reignite the fire a little bit. You know, and getting dropped, it's definitely revived his commitment to the game to get better.
Yep.
And I think now that he knows he's the leader of this team, he really thrives in that type of position.
Well, he's got the team around him. He absolutely loves playing with this squad, and they're more than willing to listen, which is the big thing for him. 2 versus 3, Silly and Clayster, the new duo emerging in competitive Call of Duty, up against Slacked, Classic, and Saints. Slacked already with his payload, and we're just in round 3.
We'll see what eUnited decides to do here. So you see Clay on the minimap. He's number 4. Wraps all the way around, clears out the site. So that's going to give some safety here to Silly to get bombed down. But now eUnited, they need to find a pick here. Still man down. So look at this corner that Clay is hiding in. You see one arrow directly above. Spot Slacked over the fence, not able to turn though and take out Saints. It's going to leave Silly here in the 1v2.
Oh, Silly gets both! And look at the hype from Clayster. I thought that round wasn't going to go in Silly's favor when he shot a whirlwind around the first player. I mean, look at this. He barely gets that kill, and then Saints must have dropped his controller there or something, because you cannot let that one slip away.
Yeah, it's hard. He doesn't know where Silly's going to be. Silly jumps up high in the sky. Saints is looking down towards the doorway. It's a few easy bullets there from Silly to able to close that round up. It's eUnited up 3-0 here. It's really, Slacked has been the only guy for LG that's shown up. Now, they've had some rounds that have been winnable, Jack. They just fall apart late.
eUnited now going to have to go for this 4-man retake as LG get a quick plant. But from everything we've seen so far, LG will find some way to lose this round, whether it's a team kill, whether it's an overly aggressive push towards an area of the map. eUnited are taking their time, Matt.
Such a difficult site to break into. As you see some nades coming out, Silly with 1. So they're able to pick off Octane here, but now you gotta fly in. After Persini gets taken out, you see Silly's going to earn full streaks. Clay with another kill. It'll be just Slacked here. He's able to get 1, gets out with his life. Has FTL here to use in this 1v1 situation. He's going to pop it, gets around Silly.
The guy didn't get it! He went to reload, he missed the bomb! Oh. Silly nearly gets it done. Both players pop FTL jump, but that round will actually go to LG in the end. Silly just needed a quarter second more as another insane ending to a round comes into play.
Oh, man, if he would have won that, that would have been sick. Slacked uses the FTL jump to perfection, right? Gets behind the box. Silly then wins the gunfight on top of bomb. Ends up reloading his weapon there instead of going for the defuse right away.
He wanted to rack up more kills. It's all part of his plan. He's now 8-0. About to be 9-0 if he can spot this player on the wall run. It looks like he doesn't even need to. eUnited smoke LG right there. Matt, you can't believe what you're seeing.
Silly is dominant.
Bro, he's good at Call of Duty.
8-0 right now.
Feeling good.
Well, you kind of heard, right? I mean, when Gunless wants to leave eUnited, you know, maybe some things between him and the team. Maybe, you know, didn't think Silly was the guy they needed to get over the hump, but you know, really start winning a lot of tournaments consistently. Silly is playing quite well this weekend. Fully streaked out here in map number 2. eUnited trying to tie this series up at 1 map apiece, and you see them playing very slow here, Jack. Just trying to bait players around the corner. Maybe you think a streak comes out here, but look at this. They're actually going to sneak up behind Luminosity. They're going to get stopped before they can get in towards that site. So LG holds them off from coming through the door for just a few seconds. Now to beat eUnited trying to play the retake.
Well, or LG will take the retake of outside. It looks like it's a 3v3. Now with 2 versus 2, Silly 9-0, going for 10-0. Shots all over the place. He'll back on up at this point. This round is looking grim. Can't get the kill. 9-1 will be the end of that streak, but either way, LG trying to keep these close. But Matt, think of the rounds. It's right now 4-2 in favor of eUnited. LG threw away a what? A 2v1? And that earlier round where they got the first blood and then all challenged 1 by 1.
They got first blood the first 2 rounds, and they end up losing both. So this is a search and destroy team where, look, you know, they're not great in S&D. Nope, just in general. When you get those types of advantages, you can't lose those rounds. Those are the rounds you need to capitalize on.
Absolutely.
We'll see if they can bounce back.
Well, with Silly having full streaks, that forces the hand of LG to try to make some sort of crazy flank happen, you know, do some sort of big play that can catch our opponents off guard. Placer's ready for this. He's going to have to play his life as he's about to be overwhelmed. Streak called in from Silly, but they're all inside. This is the best start you could possibly have if you're LG in this round.
This is such a good round. If LG is able to win it, you get first blood. Silly uses a Trinity rocket. You can't even fault him because he's calling the Trinity in as soon as that player dies. Like, does not know that player's going to die right away. They need to win this round because then LG battles back to 4-3. You're down 1 round, and now you use some streaks. And let's see, if he pings this, no, he's going to use some bombardment here in this round as well. So this is a must-win here for eUnited.
And it's so easy. It's so easy. And the Saints winds up falling back to the other side. Left in a one-on-one. Silly gets the kill as well. Silly is lights out right now, Matt.
If Saints picks up that kill, Jack,
he can still defuse.
And this goes to 4-3, and eUnited burn both of those streaks. LG's got to be ecstatic. They have to know they're in a great spot to make a comeback.
That's their only chance to win. Now down 5-2. I mean, that is just...
Still possible?
It's still possible, yes, but...
we saw LG do it to Supremacy, I believe.
Silly's 11-1.
Octane's 1-7. Not a great game from Octane.
It's another free plan for LG. Last time this happened, they did win the round. They decided to push towards that backside of the map. But at this point, I think they're still worried about potential payloads and streaks coming in.
I would just like to see them play to their strength, right? I mean, they have the gun skill. Force eUnited to come to you. There's no reason for you to challenge on the outside. And Pristini there gets slacked weak, slides in, takes him out, but Saints right there to follow it up.
That's that first blood percentage we talk about from the likes of Pristini, one of the best in the game at it. 3 versus 3. Silly FTL jumps in, only finds 1. It's Clayster all by himself. He's got players at his sights. Not going to happen. LG win the round.
Force them to win gunfights. So Luminosity needs to do here against eUnited. Right there. You know, the pressure comes in. You know, Pristini gets first blood. Saints right there to trade it out. I believe Octane and Classic pick up a kill each. That is what they excel at. They're not great when it starts to slow down and you have to make those in-game decisions. Fly to a bomb site, play from there. They're not there. Everybody rotate around to the next one. Let's play it in a 4v4 scenario.
Well, this map, again, you can't help but think LG should be in the lead from the rounds they threw away early on. Clayster, 1 kill off that reactive armor. With the setup eUnited have, I thought Pristini was going to try to push through. But LG, this is where they excelled, Matt, in Search and Destroy when they started to do well, was on these 4v4 open retakes, 2 streaks being called in. This is everything in the back pocket of the side of eUnited.
Well, they look at it, LG is almost like, hey, let's like just win 1 hardpoint hill. It's kind of what it's like, right? Just come in, force a 4v4 gunfight, trade it out. 2 kills though, go over towards eUnited. It'll be quickly a 1v3 here for Octane. Takes out one. Clay with the reactive. He just mows him down, but it will not be enough. Pristini comes in, takes out Octane. 6-3 in favor of eUnited in map number 2.
How you expected to play on out, silly. You see him on your screen there, was lights out that entire game. LG drop a search and destroy. If I had $1 for every time I said that sentence,
You'd have a few dollars.
I would be a very wealthy man.
You'd have a few dollars. It's a game mode where Luminosity, they have not been great at the entire year. I know, fortunate enough for them, right? It's only an issue, at least in my head, when they lose that first hard point. When you lose the first hard point, and then you lose the S&D, you have to battle back in a tough way. You win that first hard point if you're LG, you're still in control of the series.
Yes.
You got those 2 respawns coming up next. eUnited's got to win one of them.
We knew the series was going to be close. It's now tied 1-1 going into Uplink. Do not go anywhere when we come back. The continued coverage of the Call of Duty World League Championship presented by PS4. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a G Fuel key player matchup. This one between Pristini and Octane. Octane, someone who's made a name for himself, breaking out in competitive Call of Duty just over 2 years ago. The man has been on top of his game since. On the other side, the new up-and-comer Pristini, who plays the opposite role of him. If Pristini can get in Octane's face, that'll be eUnited's key to success. Can Pristini and crew take the series here at Uplink? Let's find out. This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
Everyone, before we jump into this match, we decided we were going to break out the big guns and give out some swag to all of you. But I believe it's customary before we start shooting off these guns, Orlando, can I hear you make a little noise? Who wants some t-shirts? All right, let's see if I know how to do this. I brought some experts up on stage with me. Let's start making these t-shirts rain down. I think I got one in. All right, let me hear you. If you want one of these t-shirts shot at your face, start screaming. That was pretty good. I'm getting good at this. Let's load this bad boy up. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, casters, you take it away. I'm going to shoot a few more of these bad boys.
All right. I have many questions. The first is who the hell gave Rich a t-shirt cannon? And why didn't I have it first?
I honestly was confused what Rich did for us. I guess this is what he's been planning the whole weekend, but
great stuff.
No, it's awesome.
Great stuff, Rich. Keep it up.
Rich brings the energy. He also conveniently has a t-shirt. Is he still up there launching t-shirts?
I think he is. I think he's still shooting off t-shirts. Hey, you know what? We're keeping the crowd entertained. That's why you come to these events, and guess what? Tickets are still available. MLG.TV/champs. Always
good at
plug.
this.
Get on over to the venue. This place is going to be packed
I can't wait.
throughout the weekend. It's just day one. Many people here in Orlando are still at work. Well, guess what? If you're watching online and you plan to be here in person this weekend, tell your boss, Uncle Jack, said it's time to come on down because we're in the middle of a crazy series between LG and eUnited.
It's all tied up at one game apiece. LG was fantastic in the hardpoint, like you'd expect them to be.
Yes.
eUnited wins the search, like you'd expect it to go. Here is the next two games. They're going to be swing games here coming up next. You can see the score on the screen there for Allegiance versus Fnatic.
Whoa.
The winner of that will play the winner of this series as well. So, the winner of that gets to play, eUnited or Luminosity.
Yeah.
That's not really a great prize. I was going to say it's a great prize, but that's actually quite awful
It's
for either of those
actually.
teams.
It's probably one of the worst draws you can get in round two.
Outside of Optic Gaming at the top, that probably would be the literal worst draw you could possibly get.
Now, that doesn't surprise me, though, to see Allegiance beating Fnatic, because we talked about it yesterday during the group play coverage that Fnatic have had some interpersonal team issues when they face teams of lesser caliber and start to go behind. They tilt very easily. Specifically, Scraps is someone that Tommy has mentioned time and time again. Will really go kind of get in his own head, start to argue with his brother. Either way, that's the Bravo series. Go watch there. We're now back in our alpha match. LG versus eUnited. Two North American Titans going at it in a tied series.
And this is a map that is so big for eUnited. They're going to get a 2-point play here at the beginning, and that's a great sign because it is a map and mode combination that they were not confident in. You need to play fast and aggressive on this map. They have some players who like to play slow, and after the break, they get quick 4 points. This is a very odd start here for Luminosity as eUnited has come out great in the first minute.
That's the first death of the game for the side of eUnited. They score 4 points in 31 seconds. And hell, Clayster's not stopping anytime soon. The man's 3-0. He's got the drone again. He's got people covering him from behind. The one connects. 5-0 eUnited, and we're 55 seconds in.
Silius 4-0. eUnited with 5 quick points here against LG. LG kind of seems like, a fighter who's been punched in the face and they're stumbling around the ring a little bit, like trying to find their footing here. This eUnited has come out with a haymaker at the beginning.
Already outslaying by 10 kills is eUnited in just 1 minute. If they keep up that pace, it would reach, 90 at the end of the game? Not going to happen, but still, just shows how insane all their gun skills been except for that gunfight. As now finally LG can breathe and move across the map to the objective.
We'll see. It's going to put a lot of pressure on LG to score some points here in the first half. This would be such a huge map win for eUnited. A throw goes off. It's an interception there from Arcides. It'll be eUnited now pushing the drone towards that lower wall run side.
eUnited are so good at intercepting the drone. They're a team that's very vocal with calling who's going to jump first, who will jump second, to ensure that no matter when that drone is released, they have a player in front of the portal to block it. You see it right there. Pristini now selflessly grabs the drone and throws it through. No hesitation, Matt, and that's what you gotta love in a player.
Yeah, you don't need to force in a 2-point play there. You take the safe one, you put another point up for eUnited. 6-0 here at the beginning. Man, we have never seen a game that I can remember where LG has been forced back into their own base for this long and just not been able to slay out.
They just look like they're on a separate page right now between the team. Nice job by Saints to at least try to give them some life as he's held down control of Research. Going for the third kill now in succession. There it is. Arcity's cut down. LG with their greatest chance to score yet. As now this should be a dunk, unless Clayster can make a hero play happen. There's the two-piece. LG now 3 dead.
And Jack, coming into this series, I actually, if you would have asked me, I would have said this is the one map in the series that I said would have been a lock for Luminosity. You know, just with the players they have, Slack, Saints, and Classic being very aggressive. You get Octane with a K-Bar or an NV4 in his hands, plays a little bit further back. Their team roster just makes a little bit more sense for this map, but I mean, big props to eUnited. They've come out in a big way. A 6-0 hole is a pretty big hole to be in Uplink. I mean, going into the second half, only another 5.5, it's going to be very tough for LG to make this up.
Another defensive stand. There's a reason why this eUnited team has grown so many fans, has continued to have the crowd grow more and more behind them. Not only are they great people in and out of game, but they are impressive when it comes down to their teamwork in game. Defensively on Uplink, one of the better teams at protecting their portal. 0 points still for Luminosity in this side. Just getting smoked right now by eUnited.
eUnited just seems like a team of destiny of sorts, right? I mean, a fantastic up-and-coming team, right? You think they're completely done when Gunless tries to leave. I mean, they don't have a 4th player for Anaheim. They bring in Swarling. Things don't go great. Like, who are they going to get? How is it going to turn around? Clay, the staple of FaZe, just kind of thrown to the side a little bit. Like, this is a team that just has so much behind them, just emotionally, just trying to come into this event and will each other to a victory. That's the type of ammo you want going into an event like this, and I don't know what the hell happened there. Clayster and Silly both blowing themselves up with Scarabs. This will be a 2-point play for LG, their first points of the game.
So I think they both tried to call on a Scarab.
Near each other, and they blew up.
And I think the second that they were called in, like, double grenades came in for LG and just so happened to hit, like, the sweet spots to blow up the Scarab right on top of
a really odd
both
play.
Silly and Clay. Yeah, that was a questionable one, and honestly, it's the reason why LG get in that dunk. The boys of eUnited going for one final score. Can they capitalize here in the final few seconds? They have the drone here. Silly charging on out. There's the one. They bring it back to a 3-possession game as we go into the half with eUnited in the lead.
So that 1-point play there towards the end just extends the lead a little bit more for eUnited. You see how fired up these guys are on the stage. I think that's kind of this team's best attribute at this point. Like, all of those guys are going to be so loud the entire weekend. Just feed off the energy of Clayster. And you can see Pristini's and RC's really love that. Like, they love to get loud now. You see them right there, a lot more vocal. I think it's really brought out a lot of positives in this roster.
When looking at the stats, we talk so much about how consistent teams can be. eUnited have gotten to a point where they are one of the more consistent lineups in competitive Call of Duty. When looking through their group play, their pool play statistics, of everybody across the different game modes, the only people that didn't have above a 1.0 was Arcity's in total and Uplink at a 0.99, and Clayster in total and S&D at a 0.90. Outside of that, everyone had above a 1.0 across the different game modes. Classic going for the 1. That time does go on through, so LG needed that. They strike within the first 35 seconds, and they're back within 2 possessions.
You know, I think eventually you're going to see Luminosity start to heat up, and it's how eUnited kind of weathers that storm here. Because you don't imagine that LG is just going to go silent throughout the whole 10 minutes of this game. Be very impressive for eUnited if they do. Arcity's with a 3 streak, has drone in hand as well. He's going to get off a 1-point throw. He's going to connect. So, you know, you can trade these out if you're eUnited, right? You keep giving up ones. Yep. You answer back with ones on your own, and you just keep, there's no way LG is going to chip away at this lead.
You know what that reminded me a lot of right there? Like a team like Enigma 6. Just get the point. It's there. Get the point. Keep the pressure on. Keep aggressive. Don't try to force through a dunk and go for that second wave of kills. Every point matters. As now there's just 3.5 minutes left. LG, they've only scored 3 points in 6.5 minutes, and now they'll have to more than double that if they want to come back and take the lead in these final minutes of side 2.
And it's interesting. We've seen, I know, over the past few months when eUnited plays this map, it was Silly. They're not really loving running that E-Rack. Nope. So they gave him the K-Bar. You keep it in the hands of RCs as well. Who becomes their secondary SMG? It's going to be Clay here. Clay playing a very fast-paced game with Pristini, just getting into the LG base, causing some commotion, helping them put the points on the board. And Now with the drone back towards mid-map, LG picks up one. They need to get control of the drone here, Jack. And you see they're going towards that wall run. For me, that tells me like they're not confident slaying out inside sub-bay. They're just trying to get these one-point throws off.
At this point, it makes sense, right? They haven't seen much success inside. There's another interception from eUnited. Silly gets it out this time, and again, that's the second time this game where LG go for a one, and it's blocked by the boys of EU.
It just like, I don't want to say it's a sign of weakness, but it kind of looks like it, right? Like, no, when you're an uplink, right, and you're trying to make something happen and you can't get the drone in the way that a lot of teams like to just kind of muscle their way in. It's like, oh, well, let's take the drone on the overextension. Like, that kind of seems like a last-ditch effort. Yep. Like, you are not able to get in through sub-bay. So what's your next best option? You try and go towards that wall run. You're not able to make it work there. What do you do next? It'll be Pristini with one, Silly with another. The drone going in for eUnited. Another one-point play. So now they find themselves up 6 with 2 minutes to go.
And now they've got payloads as well, ready to be earned. Clayster 1 or 2 kills off that reactive armor. Pristini, a couple kills off that active camo. You can see Arcides and Silly both ready to go with theirs. Looking at everything right now, this looks like it's eUnited's game to take. Unless, again, you mentioned, Matt, LG can just somehow chain kills together and get a rally going in the final 90 seconds.
LG is a very explosive team. Saints with 2. Ooh. That'll be a 2-point play.
No,
no, 1-point play.
He wound up going for the dunk, but he was a little bit above the portal, gets killed, and the drone falls in for a 1-point play.
That's unfortunate. They're able to put that in for 2. You're looking at a 9-5 game here. Maybe you get back towards mid-map. You have yourself a very close game down the stretch here. But look at this, Arcides with overdrive, going up, flying into the goal. 2 points for eUnited. So they're looking to blow away LG here in map number 3.
Clayster looks pretty damn good with the E-Rat, man. 25 and 22. Right there involved in the slaying. You like what you see. As again, think that's the dagger. I think that kind of sums this one up. eUnited looking at everything. If they don't give up that full 60 and streaks on that Cathedral hold in map 1, this very well could have been a 3-0.
I mean, who knows what happens there. It's LG. They win map number 1. Game number 2 goes to eUnited. LG was in that game number 2, though. They gave up a few rounds at the beginning. Silly got streaks. This one, though, has been completely dominated start to finish by eUnited. Clay putting an exclamation point on it there.
He doesn't care. And look, keep away. Keep away. It actually winds up resetting. But either way, GG. Pristini just pops camo for the hell of it. That is it. I think the crowd can see it as well. Folks, eUnited are about to take a 2-1 series lead, led by the impressive performance from Clayster. The man's on a 7 streak. Forget the AR, just keep running the E-Rat.
Clay with such an impressive performance there. eUnited 1 map away from sending Luminosity to the loser bracket.
Woo. Insane performances here. Look at the 3-piece again. Cool, calm, and collected as Clayster reloads, pops out. Bye-bye, Saints. Daddy's home. And he's cooking up with the E-Rat here on Frost.
You were worried about eUnited going into that map because you were wondering who would be that secondary SMG guy. You knew Pristini would be able to get it done. You've seen Silly. He's done it well on Precinct. We've seen him run the SMG there. Yep. You haven't really seen much of it from Arcides. But you can't get away with just having the one SMG there on Frost. Clayster picks it up, has a huge game there.
Does that not tell you what he brings to a team? I mean, willing to let Silly and Arcides run those ARs, the K-bars, where they feel more comfortable, completely changing his entire play style and still looking like the best player in the lobby right there. Two players can do that.
It's what he brings to a team. It's just leadership. It's like when you don't I don't want to say he doesn't believe anybody else can get it done, but when you've seen other people do it and they can't get it done, it's like, I'll do it, and the team trusts him completely to get the job done. He gets them good through game 3. Yep. Game number 4, man, it's going to be, now I think there's obviously a ton of pressure on LG, right? You lose this one, you drop down a loser bracket, and that is such a long run to make. You start at the beginning of the loser bracket and have to battle all the way through. It's going to be a grind, especially you played so many matches already this weekend.
Hey, if they wind up winning this eUnited, they would go on to face the winner of Fnatic Allegiance, which right now is in game 4. Allegiance, I believe, on the verge of taking that series. Yeah, they should take it in the next couple seconds. Yeah, I think ALG, they just sent Fnatic to the losers bracket. Wow.
So Allegiance will take out Fnatic. in round number 1. So the final spot in winner bracket round 2 to be decided here between eUnited and Luminosity. We have some great matches. I know coming up in the winner bracket throughout the weekend, right? You got Optic Gaming Splice, FaZe and Fuse getting a big upset win earlier today. I know got Ghost Gaming taking out Cloud9, Envy winning against Epsilon.
I think we have our dark horses. Who's it going to be? Infused or Allegiance to keep their weekend going in that winner's bracket?
I think more people would be surprised by the Infused win than the Allegiance one.
Okay.
If I'm quite honest with you, I think everybody was extremely high on Rise Nation coming into winner bracket round 1. I think Clint's predicted them to place everywhere in the top 4 at some point. He's come up to me, he's like, our Rise is win the whole thing. They don't come up to me, he's like, our Rise is gonna get second. Watch. It's like we kind of go all the way through with Rise. They lose that round 1. But now, just one spot to be decided. eUnited up 2-1 in this series. Saints needs to go big in game number 4.
Yeah, Saints, a player that has been a household name in competitive Call of Duty for ages. The man's playing for a lot this weekend, not only for the prize money, but for his son Kai, who's here at the venue, alongside his wife. Saints, Matt, for you, what makes Saints such a special player that you've seen across your time in Call of Duty?
Consistency. I mean, event to event, this guy has been so talented. You know, you never really leave an event and say, like, Saints played bad outside for the few at the beginning of the year. Then he starts to play much better. You see Luminosity contend for those top spots. And it's odd now because he's still playing pretty well, but they're still not there.
Yeah.
It still seems like they're just falling a little bit short, whether it's you know, some miscues in respawns or some tough games in S&D.
Well, we're hopping right into it. Forget the breakdown and setup. It just comes down to who can show up here in game number 4. It's Throwback Hardpoint, and I want to look at the numbers very quickly. Best map in Hardpoint for LG is Throwback at a 75% win rate. Best map for eUnited in Hardpoint since stage 2 and on is Throwback. They've yet to lose it together as a lineup of 4.
Yeah, it's only 4-0 on the side of LG. You do have 9-3, so LG a little bit more tested in the game mode than eUnited. But I would say overall, eUnited's strongest game mode by far is their Hardpoints. Same with Luminosity, but eUnited just plays such a consistent playstyle. They don't have to outslay you to win. They can rotate early. They can play a little bit slower. Can't really do that on Throwback. You're going to have to outslay here. It's LG. They jump out to a big lead, but it's all about Barn here. Jack is silly inside of it for eUnited. His teammates just need to win these fights on the outside.
Yep, you can see he's just playing his life, waiting for teammates to rack up some kills. Arcides does what he can. It's a 2v2 now a 1v2. Silly all by himself, playing the close corner. He spots them both. There's one quick little trade. That's what LG have to do. It's Saints, who we spoke a lot about. At 5-3, the hottest start to this map for his team.
Classic. It'll just line 2 up through the window. Pristini, though, in the hard point for eUnited, picks up a big 2-piece. So now it'll be eUnited retaining control, but Clay getting off to a rough start here at a fantastic game number 3.
Okay.
Just gets gunned there by Octane as he started out here 1-6.
That's that shot we talk about, right? With Octane, how his ability to snap. I mean, if eUnited are going to be in the lead after the first 2 hills with Clayster at 1-6, you've got to worry about LG as this map goes on.
I mean, these other 3 players are so talented. I feel like a lot of the talk about eUnited the entire year has been Gunless, how great he is. Clay comes on the roster. Yeah, we talked about Pristini, how good he is as well, but a lot of it has just been about Clay. Can Clay get it done? Can Clay do this? Can Clay do that? Now you see Silly showing up. You see Arcides showing up. Pristini's been playing great as well. I think it's about time everyone realized how talented of a 4-man roster this is.
So watch what Silly's doing right here. They're both in contest spots, right? So what Arcides is doing is he's jumping up to give control to LG for a second, so that if LG go to feather out of the hard point for even a moment, he winds up getting the retake score instead of it just being a contest that he's held. When he jumps up and down, look, he gets the secured position. It happens again right there. He's gotten foot again. He just got full streaks without getting a single kill on the bottom bike path hard point. Brilliant play from him.
Something all the way back in Black Ops 2, right? Juggling the hard point. You kind of jump in and out of it. I know in that
you had to run out.
Pick up some kills, you had to run out.
Here you can float up and down.
Here you have the luxury of just jumping up and down and having that cover. But now, I mean, eUnited, they get kind of gifted those full streaks here, and those could be huge later in the game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they will be. Look at the scoreboard. Clayster, we've always been eyes on him. He's at 5-9. The rest of his team Already 10+ kills, everyone positive, everyone getting involved in the hard point. They're doing it all. Pristini's got their pinch from middle. His brother Arcades is holding the hard point. They're a well-oiled machine. eUnited up by 30.
And here's going to be the difficult part, right? Let's say eUnited holds this hill, they go up, they get over the 100-point mark as you see Silly's forced to back up. Players coming in from LG. Now, if LG rotates early to this in the second half of the game, they have those streaks to break them. So baseball is not a hill where LG is going to be able to make up a lot of this time. They're going to have to find it somewhere else.
Folks, eUnited are on the verge of taking this series 3-1. The energy is high on the main stage. Let's crank up the headphones and listen in with the team communications.
Take one hill.
Pushing
our sidewalk. Pushing our sidewalk. Pushing our sidewalk.
Nogafin.
Shot, absolute Nogafin.
Get kills. I'm helping you with plus.
I got one. There's another one in hill.
I'm going top ticket.
He's laying down your side.
Big win.
Watch out, Sage. Watch out, Sage.
You want to switch back? Let me know.
Yeah.
You want to switch back?
Yeah, that's fine.
He's on me.
Let's go, tag him. Chase it up.
We can hill. Watch that hill.
Where?
He's in the right corner.
Got him.
Drop down. Pocket drop down. He's under bridge.
Go under press. Watch out, Sage, under press.
Watch out. He's other sidewalk and their sidewalk.
Sidewalk, I can drop 3-3. Let's go.
Go, I spawn bus.
Big time right here.
Yo, Silly, high wall run lemon. Silly. High wall run it.
Field right now.
Top food, one shot. Slack.
I heard one back. Grandma, Silly.
Another one hitting lemon.
I got one, another one lemon. Hitting lemon sidewalk.
To the back. Try and just go hold it back. I spawn lemon.
Yo, we spawned.
Watch out.
Yo, one's in hay.
Watch out, they're crates. Dead.
Watch out, Grandma.
I got him.
Go lemon. We're missing one.
I don't see him.
Octane.
Yeah, he's at lemon. Classic dead.
Nice, dude. I got right side. I got right. I have right.
Jerry pushed up.
Front door on me.
Have right.
Front door on me.
Jerry's in the back.
I have right side.
door on me.
Jerry got me.
Coming
Jerry
back.
got me in the back.
Coming back.
I got one front.
I spawned
Watch out,
out
in the back.
Yes, big door.
We're good. 40
He's on
seconds.
hay.
One back 10 on me.
Okay.
We got me 10s.
I spawn on field.
Don't
Go middle.
Don't go right.
We're going middle.
Yep.
Up silo.
Up silo.
Yeah.
Silo weak.
Yo, we just spawn lemon.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the counter Naga here and look for a kid.
Two front. Nick front. What's
I
up,
don't see anybody hay or lemon.
I'm lime with you.
They got me front. I was trying to distract as long as possible.
Back door. Yeah, feel me. Watch out. Nice. One more big door.
Hey. One in hill, one hay.
There's 20 field.
I spawned top ticket.
Hey, dead.
Let's go quick in hill then.
Let's go hill.
10.
Yo, classic's coming front door.
I'm watch out. They don't need me.
I got you. Dead.
Another front.
I heard one B-tons. There's two B. Another one hitting B-tons.
Watch out.
Another one around
Okay,
B-tons.
dead.
Play left.
I'm top ticket. I gave up B-tons.
Time.
How many haystack dead?
No.
I have camo.
Underpass.
Yo, he's bottom taking stairs. He's taking sidewalk.
They're big cut.
Taking sidewalk.
I don't see him
Taking
be cut.
I spawn lemon.
I don't see him be cut.
Octane dead.
Yo, through their sidewalk. One shot at the fence. Push, go.
I'm flanking.
I don't reach up me. Got me. There you go.
Get in hill.
Yo, they're in pulling. I
Get
think.
it,
I got it.
Our sidewalk.
One shot at lemon. Two lemon vets. One's coming in the hill.
Contest for me.
Two lemon vets. Look over him.
30 seconds. I can just turn it.
You don't hear any complaints, just straight up call-outs, high energy, and efficient gameplay right there from eUnited. They hold on to a 15-second lead. Even with Clayster's slow performance, only 5 seconds in the hill in total. Clayster 11 and 20, but still this team is winning. If you get a little bit more from him, Matt, you'd expect them to just take this game with ease. Full streaks now for Pristini.
Oh, that is such a big play. You pop the camo, you get full streaks. You'll take that trade all the time. The Centurion goes down as well here.
They have 5
eUnited
streaks.
still has the Arcity streaks in Pristini streaks as well. Arcity's 3 with the Trinity Rocket. His brother picks up 1. Everybody falls for LG. They have to battle back here, Jack. It's going to be so tough. All the utility in favor of eUnited. LG really needs a miracle here.
The twins, Arcides and Pristini, carrying in the slaying, getting it all done. The FTL jump, he does not care. Silly confident as ever, especially when he's got Arcides and Pristini watching over. It's a desperation camo at this point from Classic, trying to do what he can just to contest. It will work as they've got to just slow down eUnited, still with many streaks to use. Here comes another Trinity Rocket, forcing players out of position. That hits Saints in the noggin. As again, eUnited will go for the scrap time. They're up by almost a full minute.
So if you're LG, you're okay with this Trinity being used. They're only going to get about 10 seconds of hill time here. So you would like to see the Trinity used here if you're Luminosity, as opposed to, the next time baseball comes up. The bad part is they still have, I believe, 2 bombardments on the side of eUnited. So they do have that, the bombardment, a bit easier to dodge than the Trinity Rocket, but with the way Pristini's playing with the ERAD, they may never get back to baseball.
The MVP of this weekend wins $25,000, and Pristini's making a hell of a case right now. 29-15. Your double positive, second most hill time on his team, more than anybody on Luminosity in total. As our season crew continue to slay around this hard point, at this point they're just playing keep away with LG.
And a Throwback is a map where there's a lot of open hill time, a lot of teams, both teams jump on it, it's contested. The overall game clock runs down. Just keep an eye on that, because as the hill, nobody's in it right now. That overall game clock's gonna go down. We're only about a minute 37 seconds left on this game clock. It's not a ton of time, as we're gonna have to go through another rotation of hills.
Absolutely possible for LG to come back, but is it grim with a lead this large on a map like Throwback? Absolutely. We say that more than any other because of how fast you can rotate, how many times you have a chance to break the hill. It's not like Retaliation where you might only have, 2 or 3 opportunities to retake a site. Here on Throwback, especially Barn, you can go 4, 5, even 6 times if you spawn close enough.
It's a big kill there. The second one that comes in from Saints has the reactive. Not, did he? Oh, I believe he used it there. He just gets focus fired down by the players on eUnited. And I was gonna say, I would love to see him. Maybe you have to prop that a little bit more preemptively, right? He uses it as soon as he gets tagged up and sees both players.
Yep.
And he drops so fast.
Well, here comes one more push from LG. Pristini is here, now 31-19, 31-20 at the end of that engagement. They still have streaks to use when they need to on the map. 218-151. Silly wins the trade again for eUnited. The final two-piece not gonna happen. But look at this, they still always have bodies here.
Just throwing their bodies at the hill. That's all they really have to do at this moment in time, because LG, they need to slay him out. They need to get full control of the hard point. So we'll go over to Bike Path. Octane trying to locate one. Still streaks on the board here for eUnited.
Now we'll go ahead and see what eUnited can do to close out this map. LG down by about 70. Octane putting up a great game slaying, but there's no hill time to show for it for his team. Bombardment gets dropped. This could be the final hold for eUnited, 230-154.
Pristini inside of the hill. He's got his brother looking over him. That'll be number 6 on the minimap, Arcides, as he picks up one. Silly working his way back towards the hill. Sees one at Bust, gets down. Classic wins 2 big gunfights, just trying to keep LG alive here.
Folks, we're about to see a statement on the main stage. If eUnited can take this series, they were not afraid of this matchup in round 1, and you can see why. Arcides trying to go for the 40 bomb. His brother in Pristini not too far behind as he just shreds through Saints right there. Still an 80-second lead. And at this point, eUnited, they have to play, they can wind up, rotating early. They're looking to hold here on baseball. One final push, it's a team kill. The bombardment rains down. GG, eUnited, 3-1 over Luminosity as Clayster and crew look good as ever.